Hello, everyone. Can everyone online and in person, can you all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yes, we can.
Okay, awesome. All right. I'm in the office, just wrapping up some things before I go in person to join all of you. But since today is the General Assembly, we're beginning with General Assembly before our general body meeting. I'm joining on here online so I can chair. But I hope you all are doing well. I'm gonna go ahead and just call this meeting to order of the General Assembly at 4:05 p.m. Marion, if you can use the little, okay, anyway. So I'll go right into voll call. If you could switch to that page, please. Okay. Speaker Johnson, if those in person can mark the page as I'm saying the names, that would be great.
You got it.
Thank you. Majority Leader Smith,
He stepped out.
Chairperson Smith,
Present.
Chairperson Verzillo, Parliamentarian Lunger. Oh, Chairperson Markowitz, sorry.
I don't really. Okay, they will both be back in a minute.
Okay, cool. Let me know once they come back into the room.
Okay.
Legislator Ali,
Not here.
Legislator Arnold,
Present.
Legislator DeVore,
Present.
Legislator Juzwicki,
Present.
Legislator Duong, Legislator Iveza, Legislator Mays,
Excused today.
Legislator Mason,
Present.
Legislator Outing, Legislator Smith,
Excused today.
Legislator Valdez,
Present.
Legislator Walter, Legislator Williams,
Wait.
Legislator Odie is not
What's up?
present.
My apologies.
Oh, yeah, both of them are here. And
Okay. You can proceed.
All right. Legislator Williams and Legislator Waters, I think the two
Both are present.
okay. Legislator Wolf, Legislator Whiteheis, Fraternity and Sorority Life Liaison Goichai, PCO Liaison Moeller. I think we can cut out the Student Organic Farm one because they're not, yeah. Board of Trustees Liaison Iriarte. Board of Trustees Liaison Cobus. I know that Lance is present, correct?
Not yet.
Oh, no, not yet. All right, sorry. Delegate for College Gems of OU, Williams. Delegate for Ceiling Connoisseurs, Kirksey. Delegate for WXOU, Pizzuro. Delegate for Entrepreneurs in Action, Matthews. Delegate for Sigma Pi, Mitchell, and then delegate for Costume and Cosplay Club, Ludwig. Alrighty, we can go ahead and go into the rest of the agenda.
Before we proceed, Legislator Ali, Majority Leader Smith, and Chairperson Markowitz just walked in the room.
All right, if you could
Hello.
be present, that would be great.
Okay. All righty.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that Shantae is able to present her resolution today.
I do not believe she is in person with us. I also do not see her online.
All right, so we will go ahead and skip over that. However, if Shantae comes into the meeting, please let me know so we can return to that. So next we have updates related to any of our delegate members. So if there are any updates that anyone would like to give with regards to their whether to their role or to their student organization or really anything, if there are any updates, please speak now. Please let me know if there's anyone in person.
There is not.
Okay. All right. Now we will be going into updates related to OUSC leadership. First we will start with my update. So with regards to Student Congress, we've been wrapping up the semester. This is the last week that we are this is our last GBM of the fall semester, which is really exciting. I know that some big projects that we're going to be carrying on for the next semester and we're planning now are things like the Heritage Week, Earth Month, and as well as a couple of things that Director of Executive Platform is looking forward to. I know that we're wrapping up stuff with the vending machine, hopefully getting that up and running by the next semester. And I know that there's been a lot of really great course marking meetings that we've been having with regards to like meeting with other student leadership in other universities in Michigan. So there's a lot of really great initiatives that we've been working on here in Student Congress. And I know that, oh, just to add on a couple more things, we've been diligent with working with other SAFAC organizations to complete our goal with increasing the percentage for club sports and in potentially increasing the SAF amount, as well as there was one other thing I wanted to mention and it's escaping my mind now. So that's kind of like our update with regards to Student Congress as a whole. BP Brummer, I'll leave it to you for any updates related to campus.
Yes, so as we are winding down into finals and the end of the semester, there are a lot of fun events, very holiday themed. Beta Gamma Sigma is hosting a Cocoa and Cookies kickback that will be today, in a little bit here. It is at Elliott Hall in the Stinson Center. Also, CARE is hosting a holiday movie night later this evening. They're showing Home Alone at 5 p.m. That will be in the Oakland Center Habitat. And then also in regards to sports, there is a D1 hockey game against Schoolcraft. And that will be at Suburban Ice Rochester. It starts at 8:55 p.m. So make sure to show up and support our D1 hockey team. But that is all I have.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that update. Our next person here with the updates is our Speaker of the Legislature, Marcus Johnson. You have the floor to give any updates regarding the legislature.
Hello, everyone. I hope we're all doing fine this fabulous evening. As the semester winds down, the only real updates I have is that after today's meeting, potentially, and at the start of the next semester, we are projected to hit our cap of legislators being filled, which is the first time I've seen that in my tenure in Congress. So I'm really excited about that possibility. And I'll mention this for those who will join us for GBM, but we do have a few members graduating at the end of this semester that I always like to give a shout out to show that we're very proud of them for all of their accomplishments. And that is my report for the day. I yield the floor.
Thank you so much for that, Speaker Johnson. Now, if Chairperson Leotti is in the room or on the call, if you could provide a update regarding SAFB?
I am here. Oh, hello. Okay. So as far as updates go, I finished, SAFB recently finished allocating all of the requests that we had for the fall funding period, which ended on December 1st. So if you sent in any requests before December 1st, you should have gotten a response already. And if your request was approved, you can go ahead and put in your OSI purchase form to get those items as soon as you can. And also, because now we are in the winter funding period for SAFB as of December 2nd, we now ask that organizations put in the requests 3 weeks before they need the funds. So if you have any events happening at the beginning of January, please put in those requests as soon as possible. And additionally, if you are taking part in GrisFest on January 9th, if I'm not mistaken, and you want to get something for your table or anything to spruce up, you know, your little section of GrisFest, please make sure those requests are put in as soon as possible, because SAFB, the SAFB board will not be able to work after the 15th because, you know, classes will end. So we will be out of the office for 3 weeks. So yeah, please get in those requests so we can get to them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Chairperson Leotti. And now I will go into any announcements that anyone might have for the good of the group. Again, please let me know if there are any hands in person.
Yes, seeing none in person.
Already? Well, thank you so much everyone for attending our last General Assembly meeting of the fall semester, and I will adjourn at 4:16 p.m. and I'll hand it over to you, VP Brummer.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. All righty. I am going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 4:16 p.m. We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Alrighty, please say whether you are present or present and voting. Speaker Johnson. Majority Leader Smith.
Present.
Chairperson Smith.
Present.
Chairperson Verzillo. Chairperson Markowitz. Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold.
Present.
Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Drzewicki. Legislator Drzewicki. Legislator Duong. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mays. Legislator Mason.
President. Reading 90.
Legislator Outing. Legislator Smith. Legislator Valdez.
Present.
Legislator Waters. Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf. Legislator Wolf. Legislator Whiteheis. Alrighty. And with that, we meet quorum. Next up on the agenda is our land acknowledgement. Thank goodness. Okay. We recognize the wrongs done to those forcibly removed from their homelands and commit to fostering an environment of inclusion that is responsive to the needs of First Peoples through our words, policies, and actions. Next up on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there any motions to amend the agenda at this time? See a present in the chat from legislator Jazwicki. All right, seeing no motions to amend the agenda, we will move on to a voice vote. Is there any nays at this time? Any yays? Alrighty, with that, the agenda has been approved. Next up on the agenda is announcements. Is there any announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right, hearing and seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to our guest speaker today. We have Tricia Westergaard and Mike Latcha from the Academic Calendar Committee. They're going to be discussing a survey with us today. So I will go ahead and pass the floor to the both of you. Where's Alex? Can you share?
And I can share my screen with the presentation if you'd like.
If you would like to do that, that works.
Perfect. All right, let me just find the right screen.
No worries.
All right, I'm going to share part one, and then Dr. Latcha, Mike is going to share part two. So thank you for having us today. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. I am here with Mike. I'm the registrar here at Oakland, and I have been, if I haven't met some of you, I've been here at 28 years, and I was a former student at Oakland before that, so I've been here for a very long time. And I'll let Mike introduce himself.
Hi, some of you know me. I'm Mike Latcha. I'm a professor in mechanical engineering. I am currently the president of the faculty AAUP chapter. I have been working on calendar things at Oakland for nearly 20 years, more or less behind the scenes and within the faculty contract.
All right, so thanks for having us here. We're representing our Academic Calendar Development Committee, and Ethan is a member of our committee, so we have an OUSD rep. And so we want to talk about creating the academic calendar and some of what goes into creating that. So when the Office of the Registrar creates today the calendar, we're taking into consideration federal guidelines. We have to have at least a 30 weeks of instruction, and we can accomplish that either by 2 15 weeks or a 14 and a 16. There needs to be at least 2 semesters in an academic year, and the semester has to be at least 14 weeks of instruction, which can include the exam week. So there's a little bit of math involved in here, but at the end of the day, 30 weeks of instruction time over the 2 semesters. The remaining time, which equates to summer, can be whatever we want it to be. And obviously this doesn't account for specified or credit or contact hours. So we do have to take that into consideration as well. So at OU, we also have additional requirements that we need to take into consideration. So for the students, for example, the last day of a semester is the last day of final exams. There's still administrative work that faculty with grading and financial aid and advisors and others do after the semester, but the official last day of a semester is the last day of final exams. We give 1 study day prior to the final exam period. It can be any day of the week. It just is however it falls. And we always have at least 1 business day before the start of the winter semester. We have a winter recess at the midpoint of the winter semester, and at least 1 week between the end of a semester and the start of the next semester. And that's for processing grades, financial aid, so that you can review your grades, decide if you need to make adjustments to your next semester's classes. Advisors and departments can monitor, and then classroom cleaning and other things that need to happen with facilities. So we take a lot into consideration. Obviously, we also have to, oh, did you want to say something, Mike, or no? Okay. we also have to take into calendar requirements like the holidays and breaks and recess periods. So a lot of these are factored in as we develop the academic calendar. We also have to consider contractual constraints. So the AAUP has a limit to 16 weeks was the max for a semester. And then also when the winter semester starts after New Year's Day, and we need to end by April 30th. So things like that. And then other contracts for different employee groups on campus. So we make sure we take those things into consideration as well. One of the biggest things we have to take into consideration is the fact that there's 365 days or 52 weeks in a year. And so when you think about, you know, the 2 weeks at the December recess, the holidays, 30 weeks of instruction for fall and winter, at least 1 week between terms, we very quickly hit those 52 weeks. And we wish we could have 60 weeks so we could do some really cool things, but you know, we know we're limited to the calendar year. And so that's one of our biggest constraints that we have to work with. So the Academic Calendar Development Committee put together, Mike's going to go into a bit of a demo about this, but it's not how we create the calendar today. He's going to show you what we've created, and what we want to talk to you about are some of the opportunities at this next stage that we could go to. And we want to make sure we have the student voice and the student weighing in on some of the priorities that we want to see where we go with future developments of the academic calendar. So at this moment, I'm going to pause and let stop sharing, and then Mike will take over sharing, and then I'll come back to this.
Thank you. So as Ms. Westergaard described, there was an ad hoc committee of the University Senate last year that looked at the academic calendar. We started by looking at calendars of the universities around us. We started looking at other models of calendars. We took the federal guidelines and the other constraints that we had on us, and some guidelines that the provost had to develop academic calendars at Oakland, and tried to turn these into a set of hard rules that could be used to that could be used to develop a calendar for any year. So we just plug in a date, a year, and it would develop the calendar based on a set of rules. This is not the calendar that we're following for 2024. This is what it would be if we've been following these rules. But we can go through here, and I can show you some features of this particular model and the reason why we would like to develop the calendar according to something like this. So in this model here, so we have 2024. So here's what we could have been doing in 2024. So first of all semesters start with an administrative day. It's a day of no classes. We're told by academic advisors that this day is very important for students to do a last-minute readjustment of schedules based on, for example, how successful they were with the semester before in terms of prerequisites, other courses. As priorities change and things, people like to have a last-minute adjustment to schedules. As you just heard, there are contracts that require the winter semester to end by August 30th. So typically what we do is we start almost immediately after, as soon as we can, after that administrative day in January. We will not start the semester on a Friday or Saturday, but in this case, we would start on a Wednesday. The light green boxes are instructional days. So we have 7 weeks of instruction, and then this is the midwinter break. This is Martin Luther King Day. After the break, we have 7 more weeks of instruction and then the last day of class. The study day follows the last day of class and is immediately followed by the beginning of finals week, the dark green boxes. Finals week goes for finals goes for an entire week. The faculty contract says that grades are due 48 hours after the final exam. So 48 hours after the last final exam, all of the grades are due, in this case, Saturday the 20th. Following that, there is 5 administrative days that we try to schedule in order to roll all the grades, check to make sure they're correct, make sure that the departments have time to run grade audits, process financial aid. There is a tremendous amount of work that has to go on to roll from one semester until the next semester, and that's what these 5 administrative days are for. Another thing the committee did was make recommendations on when commencement could be. This is a date that would be very handy to be able to plan years in advance. It turns out, for instance, in the winter, it appears as though commencement could be the last Saturday of April, not the first Saturday of May. And we tried to schedule this for the Saturday after grades were due. Faculty contract says that the summer can't start before May 1st. So in this case, we actually would have 2 days of administrative activity before the start of classes for the summer. Most of you know that the summer is mainly broken up into 2 parts, summer 1 and summer 2. Summer 1 is the first 7 weeks of instruction and a final exam period. Summer 2 is the last 7 weeks plus a final exam period. We also have a full semester in the summer that runs all 16 weeks, ending in a final exam period. Memorial Day is the last Monday in May. The 4th of July is always problematic because it shows up on a different day of the week. But the full semester ends, as they all do, last day of class, study day, a week of final exams. Grades are due 48 hours after the last final exam, a week of administration, and then now we're into fall. Fall is by far the most difficult of the 3 semesters to schedule, mainly because the only time we have for a break, if you will, is between, well, it's almost mandated, it's between Christmas and New Year's. So that's actually the reason why we don't have a week-long break in the fall, or actually we do. It's just at the very end after the semester is over. The start dates for the fall are contractual. So and days where we are running into problems at the end, we start the Thursday before Labor Day. And depending on how the months fall here, we either start there or we start the day after Labor Day. But we have this administrative day, which in the fall coincides with convocation. We have this massive group of instructional days that's largely unbroken. The fall break that we have been doing for the last few years is the Friday and the Saturday of the 8th week of class. And this came out of a sort of a promise that the president made to you guys, your group, for a break in the fall. And the difficulty is that without losing a lot of instructional days, the only days that really sort of made sense was the Friday and the Saturday. And we do understand that many of you don't have classes on Friday or Saturday, so this is really not much of a break. I get it. And faculty tell us exactly the same thing. Here's the Thanksgiving break. In this particular model, the last day of class would have been the Monday following the Thanksgiving break, the study day, a week of final exams, the day grades are due, a week of processing, and commencement. So in this model, we would have been already deep into finals week instead of finals week beginning on Monday. Some of the now of course this changes depending on which year, because the year started on a different day of the week, things like that. One of the things that we are that we can do with a model like this, however, is we can look at how many days of the week are used for instruction. So in this model of winter, we have 12 Mondays, 13 Tuesdays, 14 Wednesdays, and then 13 Thursday through Saturdays. Those of you who take classes on Mondays, and certainly the faculty who teach on Mondays, are acutely aware of the fact that because of how holidays are structured, most semesters are missing at least one Monday. And sometimes they end up with extra Wednesdays, if you will. So that is something that we would like to try to even out a little bit as we look at changes to the calendar. Other things that we're looking to explore is currently the university does not acknowledge or celebrate Juneteenth, which is June 19th. Interestingly enough, with the way that the semesters fall currently, Juneteenth almost always lands in the break week in the middle of summer. It is 15 days before the 4th of July. The fall has probably the highest number of comments that people have for changes to the calendar. And some of those are, for instance, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, people would like to have off. It is a popular day to travel, to be with family for the following day for the holiday. However, currently we have classes that run until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. In order to accommodate a full week in the fall, we're going to have to make up those instructional days somehow. You'll notice even in this year here, even if we used those 3 days, we're still now missing another Thursday. So that becomes problematic for classes that are on Thursday. Election day, other universities give election day off. And it is interesting that the people in the faculty in computer science or in political science here have said that with the recent changes in Michigan, with early voting, absentee ballot voting, things like that, the reason to have election day off is now much reduced at Oakland. So they're not even advocating that. They also brought up the question of, okay, is the day following the first Monday in November the election day we want to have off? And if so, why not primary election days and other election days through the year? Which then becomes much more complicated. So these are the things that have to go into developing an academic year calendar. We're trying to take that one step further and develop a set of rules to develop an academic calendar so that we can plan for 5, 6, 10 years in the future. And back to Ms. Westergaard.
All right, thank you so much. So bringing this home, why we're here today, basically giving you an update and just information. It takes a lot to create the academic calendar, and there's a lot of considerations, but at the end, we really want to make sure the faculty and the students are getting the amount of time in the classroom. So what are the opportunities now? As Dr. Latcha described, we could be thinking about where's the fall break placement, election day, the day before Thanksgiving, equalizing the number of instruction date for consideration. When we start in the winter and the placement of the winter break, in the summer, the length of the summer and the two parts of the first half and the second half, a break, Juneteenth, and final exams. They're not all necessarily 2 to 3 hours in length for the final exam. So there's a lot of considerations across all different types of our campus community. So keeping in mind the challenges, there's a lot of things we can do, but in the end, doing one thing is going to have an impact somewhere else. So what we're trying to do is prioritize interests and what are the items that the ACDC committee can look at and model out in this perpetual calendar that we've demonstrated today. So we're going to have a survey that should be coming out next week, or at least by the end of next week, with all of the things that we've talked about today. And today's point was to help you understand a little bit more about how the calendar is developed and the constraints, but we want to hear from students. We want to hear from staff. We want to hear from faculty, everybody who's a stakeholder in the calendar. What are the most important elements that we should consider as we model out and as a committee and develop possible calendar models for the future? And that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop there, and we can answer any questions you have.
Thank you both for coming and presenting to us today. We greatly appreciate it. Is there anyone who has any discussion points that they would like to bring up at this time? I am not seeing any as of right now. But I will say in regards to the survey, once you have that, Student Congress can distribute that through our social media. Yes, Legislator Avesa, could you come up just so that the computer can hear you?
Hi, so I actually read at the end of the slide how you guys were talking about a 9-month calendar year. What would be the change with that? I'm a little confused
Well,
by the ending statement.
currently, Oakland has an 8-month academic year. The academic year fits between September and April. It's actually a fairly significant impact on things like research money, as faculty are seeking research money from funding agencies. They can, because the academic year fits into 8 months, they can ask for up to 50% for support during the summer. If the fall expands enough, because we want, for instance, a week break in there, or the winter moves into May because we want to start later, then it's going to look, we will end up with probably something closer to a 9-month academic year. 9-month academic years from funding agencies are only allowed 33% of summer support, not 50%. So there, depending on the constituency, I mean, I would not have expected you guys to have seen that before, but this is something that, for instance, faculty who do a lot of research, this is very important to them.
Thank you for that. Is there any other discussion points anyone would like to bring up at this time? I guess I can mention something that we have discussed. So our advisor, Jean Ann Miller, had mentioned the possibility of maybe incorporating election day into the fall break that we have. I know our director of executive platform is also on the academic calendar committee. So I don't know if this is something that has been mentioned, but I'm wondering if you could bring up any considerations that might play into the possibility of that.
Yeah, I mean, we have looked at, and this is what we had done most of last year. We had looked at ways to incorporate more breaks in the fall, because we do understand that gigantic mass of instructional days with no breaks it's not particularly it is stressful for not only for students but faculty also. And we were looking at ways to, for instance, piece together sort of a week. You know, take the couple days from Thanksgiving and combine it with Election Day and maybe a day someplace else. And we were looking at things like that. What the ad hoc committee, the dozen or so of us that were on that committee, what we were not willing to do was to speak for everyone on campus and to make decisions that would affect everybody on campus without getting everyone's input first. So that's really what we're doing. We have the tools now, and we have the opportunity to make changes to the academic calendar. However, we want to make sure that we're making the changes that people actually want to see, instead of what, you know, a small group of people have decided those changes are going to be. So that's the reason for the survey. That's the reason why we're sort of taking a pause before we're proposing anything, any changes for people to look at. And it's just we're just right now we're still just collecting input.
And I think from the survey standpoint, the break is separate from the day before Thanksgiving. They're not seen, the day before Thanksgiving isn't perceived as the fall break. It doesn't mean, based off of feedback, that something else couldn't be considered, but we recognize the difference between the travel day on the day before Thanksgiving and a break that falls somewhere between the, you know, first day and the Thanksgiving. I mean, if you think about it, we would have had the break last week. This is the last week of classes. So that is a factor that we think is important, and we want to hear the student voice, in addition to staff, faculty, everybody's voice on this very important topic.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. Is there any other discussion points anyone would like to mention at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Thank you both for being here and
Thank you.
talking to us about this. All righty. Next up on the agenda, we have comments from the gallery. Is there any comments from the gallery at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to new business. First up under new business is the approval of Carolina Valdez as steering chair. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. This will be the first time of many times I get to talk today. As you all know, our wonderful steering chair Rosillo is graduating, which means we do have to find someone to fill the role. As much as we love steering chair Rosillo, we do want him to worry about the bigger and better things he gets to explore outside of OU. Legislator Valdez reached out with an interest to fill the position. We had a chance, Vice President Brummer and I had a chance to meet with her earlier today to ensure that she was willing to take on the responsibilities. So now I put it before you all to see if you concur in our judgment. With that, I will yield the floor to Legislator Valdez.
Before we move on, really briefly, President Garcia, I see a hand up.
Yeah, so before we consider Legislator Valdez and potentially vote on her, I'm thinking that we have to have all of our voting members approved before we start voting on things. So people approving the legislators that are the perspectives before we want to start voting on other approvals, if you get what I'm saying. So I would like to motion to take the approval of Carolina Valdez as steering chair below the three approvals, prospective, or actually there's two, the two prospective legislator approvals.
Is there a second to that motion? Alrighty, motion has been approved. Thank you, Chairperson Verzillo. All right, so with the change, first up under new business is the approval of Mario Prashandaro as legislator. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson, I will grant you the floor.
You'll come to find it's still required. All right, folks. New regularly scheduled program. We have one of our few seats left to fill for the legislature. We've got some fun contenders to approve of today, or not. I can't guarantee things one way or another. Mario did reach out with an interest to me a while ago. We were finally able to get him through the process and get his signatures approved. So I'm excited for the opportunity to present him to you all for consideration. With that, I will yield the floor to Mario.
Legislators, I want you to consider me for this position because, simply put, I would make a good addition to this august body. I came here because I wanted to get involved on campus. I want to help organize this community. And unlike, I think, most candidates standing in my position, I've already helped out around this Congress several times, doing stuff that other people at the time were getting paid for, and I'd like to get paid for doing that in the future. But more than that, I want the satisfaction of making sure that this school is the best school in the world. Thank you for your consideration. I yield my time.
A seat. Does anyone have any questions for Mario prior to his approval or the vote? Yes, Director Richardson. If you want to come up as well.
Peter. So I think I've met you maybe twice in my life. This is probably the second time. I don't know much about what you do on campus, and you said you've been doing stuff for Student Congress, which I fully believe you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. But like, what have you done around campus that like makes you finally want to step in front of the podium and get approved to be a legislator?
So, okay, things that I've helped with Student Congress specifically that can be vouched upon. When we had the presidential election, I was randomly assigned to cut up the red and white voting pieces of paper, and I had to manage our amazing paper cutting machine. My other involvement on campus, I'm involved in Model UN, and I just know a handful of people that are on this Congress, and I like doing things with them, and I'd like to just be involved and know about like the goings on of like, it feels good to like know what is happening in the community. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Not bad. I'm just gonna squeeze up. Okay, so I have a question. I feel like I asked this to most prospective legislators, but I'm curious. I'm going to restructure this question because initially I feel like it's like ultimately a little bit loaded. That like asking what initiatives you have, I feel like it's kind of hard to know like if you're not on the inside and like actively working on initiatives. So I'm curious what problems you're concerned about on campus, and then if you have any ideas on how to address them.
Gotcha. One initiative that I've been informed about so far already is the move to put Grizz ID numbers on our ID cards. And having just gone through the process of getting signatures to be approved to be up for consideration for this Congress, I could see that the problems that creates. So that's one thing I'm passionate about. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
Is there any other questions for Mario at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm going to ask you to step into the hallway. We'll bring you back in just a minute. If you could close the door behind you, that'd be great.
Do a quick form check. I know we gotta go.
Oh, yes, thank you. Legislator Childs, are you present or present and voting? Present. Is there anybody else who was not here during roll call? Okay, all right. Now we will move on. Is there any discussion regarding, if you have any discussion points, come on up to the podium. We'll form a line going this way. Legislator Waters.
Hello, so I've had, the privilege of meeting Mario a few times and talking to him, and I can speak that he has a very good character. I think he's a great guy, and I think he would make a great addition to this Congress. With that, I yield the floor.
Before we have our next in person, President Garcia, I noticed you had your hand up. Did you still have something you'd like to mention? Maybe not. Okay, Chairperson Smith.
I would like to say I am friends with Mario, so I'm a little bit biased. I've known Mario for about a year now. And he hasn't been super involved in the OU community and organizations around it in the past. However, he's really making an effort this year to really get more involved and do good in this community. And I really admire that. And I know Mario is the type of person where if you take him and put him in a place to do good, he will work as hard as he can to do that. And I'm really excited to welcome him. With that, I yield the floor.
So I've never met Mario before, but based off first impressions, I really like him. He's a great public speaker. Also, he's probably reading my lips right now, but he seems actually like kind of informed on the problems we have on campus. I like that he had an original idea of our Grizz ID numbers not being on our ID. When I was getting signatures, I thought that was kind of annoying too. And I don't know why it hasn't come up to me to think of that problem, but I'm glad that he's here today and he brought that problem up. With that, I yield the floor.
I've never met Marcus before either, or Mario. I mean, but Mario he's got really good initiatives, and I like the fact that he's been helping with OUSC. You know, even though he's not a legislator, and I definitely agree with him with the signatures, and the Grizz ID. It's better to have the Grizz ID on the Grizz card, so when prospective legislators get their signatures, they're not getting the wrong number. I actually wrote down the Grizz card number instead of the Grizz ID in my sale. I had people do that, and I had to start all over with my signatures, and that was not easy. I actually think, yeah, I really like his initiatives.
I just wanted to say that I think this the Grizz ID thing on the ID card thing is a really good idea. It's something several prospective legislators have kind of floated up, but we've all like kind of just awkwardly talked about every once in a while. Like I brought it up in my approval speech in February as a thing I wanted to do, and we've kind of just talked about it a little bit, but not actually done it. I don't know. That's no, and that's nothing against Mario. I think this is a good opportunity to say, yeah, we've all said this a lot. We should look at it a little bit more and talk with some people about it. And I yield the floor.
Alrighty, does anyone, President Garcia?
I don't know if anyone else brought this up because I stepped away for like a few seconds, but Mario actually was helping in the office, like organizing like the menstrual products, which I think is so cool. He just was like around and he asked how he could help, and he helped out for some time. So yeah, I just wanted to say that it's pretty cool.
All right, is there any other discussion points anyone would like to bring up at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into a vote. All righty, Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith. Yeah. Chairperson Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Brazillo. Chairperson Markowitz. Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore.
Yay.
Legislator Jozwicki. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Outing. Legislator Valdez.
Yay.
Legislator Waters.
Yay.
Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf.
Yay.
Legislator Whiteheis. Alrighty.
Oh, that's. Yeah.
Alrighty, with that, Mario has been approved as the newest legislator to student Congress in the Philippines. Alrighty. All right, I will ask Mario, are you present or present and voting? Alrighty, thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Alrighty. Moving on, next up under new business, we have the approval of Dominic Mullins as a legislator. This is, Chairperson Brazillo. Is there a second to that motion? Alrighty, motion has been approved.
Alrighty, next up on our list of things to cover, we have Dominic Mullins. He also reached out with an interest to join Congress. He seems very passionate to help us out with all of our fun endeavors. I could sit here and talk about all the fun things he wants to do, but that's kind of what his speech is for. So I will present him to you, and we may all consider him. I will yield the floor to Dominic. The floor is yours, my friend.
Do I just speak into the laptop?
Yeah, yes.
Cool. All right, thank you, Mr. Johnson. First and foremost, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't like creating speeches. I like to speak entirely off. Knock it off, Mark. I like to completely speak off the top of the head as I feel is a better representation of just jotting down past representations. But I would like to say this. Did not think I was going to enter this semester even considering stepping into legislative as part of the Congress. But seeing that as I have quite a few affiliates who are indeed part of Congress and seeing what they are passionate about, what they provide for the good of the school, I would also feel is a privilege to also be a part of that, as I would like to believe that my experience, kind of actually with my co-candidate, not helping with school, but helping outside of school, as I do have experience with working for the courts, helping with child support cases and seeing what goes in and out of those systems. I believe that that experience may or may not have some due diligence to provide the ultimate good for what we can provide together for Congress. With that, I take any questions. Any questions but from you? What's up?
I'll get in the frame just for a second. I'll ask the same question. So what problems would you be interested in addressing, and do you have any ideas as to how you would address it?
Well, first and foremost, one thing that I've noticed that there may or may not seem to be lack of care for the mental health of our students here. I will admit that. That is something that once I find what we have the power to ordain within the good for our students, that is something that I would to have a hand in prioritizing as someone that has been through such crisis situations themselves. And for speaking from experience, very detrimental, very important that we provide that to the best of our abilities.
Seeing none, I'm going to ask you to step out into the hallway. We'll bring you back in just a minute. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay. Is there any discussion on Dominic's approval at this time? If there is, come on up, make a line next to the podium.
I for one really like that you would like to bring more attention to the mental health problems on campus. That's something that I myself have personally been wanting to advocate for, so I think it's really cool how there's someone else who wants to help with that.
I really like Dominic's mental health initiatives. That's a wonderful thing. And he would definitely be a great candidate for the mental health committee. And I really like, I think he would be a great legislator.
Any other discussion anyone would like to bring up at this time? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to a vote. All right, Speaker Johnson?
Yeah.
Majority Leader Smith? Yeah. Chairperson Smith? Yeah. Chairperson Brazillo? Chairperson Markowitz? Parliamentarian Lunger? Legislator Ali? Legislator Arnold? Legislator Arnold? Legislator Childs? Yeah. Legislator DeVore? Yeah. Legislator Drzewicki? Legislator Iveza? Legislator Mason?
Yay.
Legislator Outing? Yeah. Legislator one more time. Christian Dardo. Dardo? Darrow. Got it. Legislator Christian Darrow. Yay, nay, or abstain? Yeah. Legislator Valdez?
Yay.
Legislator Waters?
Yeah.
Legislator Williams? Legislator Wolf? Legislator Whiteheis? Alrighty. With that, would somebody be able to grab Dominic? All right, congratulations, Dominic. You're the newest legislator. You present or present in voting?
Yeah.
So with present and voting, it requires you to vote on everything that we vote on. With present, you have the option of abstaining. Present or present, okay. Okay, thank you. All righty. Next up on the agenda, we have the resignation of our very wonderful steering chair, Chairperson Brazillo. I will give you the floor.
Well, I don't have too much to say. I'm the one who made the agenda, and I know how long it is, so I will try not to say a lot. But yeah, I'm officially resigning from the position of steering chair because I'm graduating. So yeah, the time has come. The reason why I'm saying this is because it's just a procedural manner just to have the new steering chair or the new prospective steering chair. I should resign first. And I mean, that's about it. And
Whatever you want to say.
all right. I didn't prepare anything, but I've been in this organization for now it's been 2 years, and it has changed a lot for sure. And I can carry with me a lot of memories, and they're all positive, some negative, but more of them are positive. And I'm not gonna take any more time. I'm very thankful for every one of you. And definitely I will have this positive memory when I go about my life, about student congress, how I improved. And yeah, thank you all.
Thank you so much. I think it is quite obvious that we have all been very grateful for steering chair Brazillo, and you will be very missed. So thank you for your efforts. All right, so next up we have the approval of Carolina Valdez as steering chair. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
Hello, I'm back to do the same thing I did a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna redo it again. As you've all just noticed, our steering chair resigned, and with a vacancy in the position existing, we do have to approve the successor to Chairperson Brazillo. Legislator Valdez indicated interest in doing so, so I present her to you for consideration. With that, I will yield the floor to Legislator Valdez.
Hi everyone. I hope you can hear me. First I want to apologize for not being physically present today. Unfortunately, my car is in the shop and I wasn't able to make it to campus, but I thank you for letting me speak today. I'm here because I want to take on the role of steering committee chair, and I believe I can bring something valuable to the position, even though it's sad that Alex is leaving. It's also something positive because he's graduating. But I know they're very big shoes to fill, but I'll do my best and to learn and to get to know you guys even more. So during my time in Student Congress, especially working with the marketing committee and as a legislator, I've learned a lot about how we operate and how we can improve. I've seen the importance of keeping things organized and making sure everyone's voice is heard. And that is exactly what I want to focus on as chair if I'm approved. My priority will be making sure we stay on track with our goals while also staying flexible enough to adapt to new ideas and challenges. And I want to create a space where everyone feels comfortable contributing and where we're all working towards solutions that truly represent the students here at Oakland. I'm committed to putting in the work, staying transparent, and leading with an open mind. And thank you for considering me, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions for Legislator Valdez at this time? Come on up.
This is my office now. You said steal it? Oh, yeah. Now that the chatter has quieted down, I just had a quick question. So I feel like I've asked you something similar before. But since you're still relatively new to Student Congress and part of being a steering chair kind of relies on experience and like knowing the certain verbiage and whatnot. So there's definitely a learning curve, especially if you're newer. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of chiming in on how you plan to get caught up pretty quickly and be able to take care of that role.
Well, as I have now, if I get approved, obviously, I have now more hours to clock in, and not also am I willing to clock in all those hours. I am willing to put in extra hours of my personal time to assist to any training sessions that I can. I would, of course, rely on feedback from you guys and from every legislator that is present in the Student Congress so that I can catch up and receive constructive feedback so that I can keep up with everything that Alex has been doing this past 2 years. I know that I'm new, but I can adapt and I learn quickly. And that's what I've been doing ever since I just moved here. I've been adapting and moving and just adding more stuff to do. And always, I've been always working hard to get to where I want to be. And where I want to be in this Student Congress is to be of assistance to you guys and also to make this community a better place. And I absolutely agree that there has to be a certain degree of knowledge. But as I said, I am willing to learn as quickly as possible and as effectively as I can be.
Alrighty, I see a hand raised from President Garcia.
Hello, so my question, since there's so many new members, is can you explain to everyone what steering chair does? Just in like simple terms.
Absolutely. In simple terms, I would say it would be creating the agenda and being in charge of the initiatives of the legislators into and also posting the progress of the legislators. I also have the knowledge that I would be working with Taylor Richardson and technically having a role of guidance towards the Student Congress.
Is there any other questions for Carolina at this time? All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and move you into a breakout room and we will bring you back momentarily. All righty. Is there any discussion regarding Legislator Valdez's approval? If there is, come on up to the podium.
Okay, so Legislator Valdez is fairly new. I unfortunately missed her approval. But since that time, she was one of the first legislators, like, because it is so late in the year, full out came out to me, said, "Hi, my name is," and was very, very nice to me from the get-go. But also like lately, like with exam cram, she was a giant help to me yesterday. She was very quick to be like, "Let me help however I can. Thank you." And she is such a nice and uplifting person. She's in the office constantly, which I really appreciate because I like to see the new legislators because I can't meet them in person when they get approved most of the time. So to talk about how she mentioned she's a quick learner. She really is. Like, I really mean that. She was quick to learn things when I introduced them to her. And also I've seen the way she is part of like helping the Menschel and helping the marketing committee. So I really just want to come up here and say, like, I think this is a great pick. She's one of the first people I thought of, even though she's brand new. But also, that's another thing I want to say. I was brand new too, and all of you took a chance on me. And I think this would be a very, very great opportunity for her to flourish. And so yeah, if you guys think I'm doing a good job, then I think I'm going to speak on her behalf and say I think she'll do a good job too. So thank you.
Any other discussion points anyone would like to bring up at this time? All right. Seeing none, we will go ahead and move to a vote. All righty, Speaker Johnson.
Yay.
Majority Leader Smith. Yeah. Chairperson Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Markowitz. Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore.
Yeah.
Legislator Drzewicki. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mason.
Yay.
Legislator Outing. It's gonna take me a minute. Legislator Rishandaro. Yes. Legislator Verzillo. That was weird. Is that a yay? Legislator Waters. Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf. Legislator Whiteheis. Alrighty. Yes, thank you. Legislator Mullins. Yay, wonderful. All right. Alrighty, Legislator Valdez, how would you like to vote on your approval?
I abstain.
Alrighty, with that, Legislator Valdez is our newest approved steering chair. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Next up, we have the approval of Maria Iveza for the Research and Review Committee. This is presented by Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. This is the last time you should expect, not the last time you should expect to hear me speak tonight, but I have one more approval to put before you today. Legislator Iveza reached out to me with an interest to join the Research and Review Committee, of which I'm always happy to have members to. So I will let her speak for herself in consideration before you all.
Hi, everyone again. My name is Maria Vezai, and I'm one of the newer legislators here at OUSC, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to join the Research and Review Committee. Over the past few years, I've taken numerous research and seminar classes, which I believe have helped me develop strong skills in gathering information, analyzing it, and presenting it in a clear way. I know the Research and Review Committee is all about making sure decisions are based on solid and reliable research, whether it's diving into issues that the legislator brings up or passing them straight to the other committees. This committee plays a key role in helping to keep us on track. I feel like my experience with research, along with my ability to collaborate with others and communicate ideas clearly, would help me contribute meaningfully here. I'm excited to dig into the issues that matter to our student body and work together to find solutions. Thanks for considering me, and I'd love the chance to be part of this committee. Any questions?
Is there any questions for Legislator Iveza at this time? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll bring you back in just a minute. All righty, is there any discussion on Legislator Iveza's approval at this time? All righty. Seeing none, we will move right into a vote. Speaker Johnson. Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith. Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore.
Yay.
Legislator Drzewicki. Legislator Mason. Legislator Outing. Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Verzillo. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams. Legislator Wolf. Legislator Whiteheis. Alrighty. Legislator Iveza, how would you like to vote on your approval? Alrighty, with that, you are the newest member of the Research and Review Committee. Congratulations. Alrighty. Next up on the agenda, we have the approval of Victoria Outing for the Judiciary Committee. This is presented by Chairperson Smith. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. In the interest of time, because we're not past the approval section, we're an hour and a half into our time here. I'm going to try and keep it a little quick. In my never-ending effort to attempt to entirely fill the Judiciary Committee, which is seen as one of the more important committees in this Congress, I have advertised myself to death, and finally we have somebody qualified who's interested in Legislator Outing. I won't say too much about her, so I yield the floor to Legislator Outing.
All right. Hi, guys. I actually probably, a ton of you probably don't know me, but my name is Victoria, and I have been in Congress for a little bit now. And like Rose said, that she's been trying to fill this position and fill this committee, and I think that I would love to be a help, and I think it'd be a good learning opportunity for me, and I'd love to be more involved in Congress. My involvement is very wishy-washy, and that's probably why you haven't seen me. But I would love to be just more involved in this committee and learn more about it. But that's pretty much it.
Is there any questions for Legislator Outing at this time? All right, seeing none, I'll ask you to step out. We'll bring you right back. All righty. Is there any discussion on Legislator Outing's approval? Legislator Waters?
Hello, I have had the privilege to speak with Legislator Outing a few times before task forces and legislative meetings. And I think that she is very smart, very capable of this job on the committee, and we need more people. So I think a good qualified legislator is perfect for the committee. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you. Any other discussion points anyone would like to bring up at this time? All right. Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to a vote. Speaker Johnson.
Yeah.
Legislator Mullins. Yeah. Majority Leader Smith. Chairperson Smith.
Yeah.
Chairperson Valdez.
Yay.
Chairperson Markowitz.
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger. Legislator Ali. Legislator Arnold. Legislator Childs. Legislator DeVore. Legislator Dreswicki. Legislator Iveza. Legislator Mason. Legislator Prishandaro. Legislator Verzillo. Legislator Waters.
Yeah.
Legislator Williams.
Yeah.
Legislator Wolf. Legislator Whiteheis. Alrighty. Legislator Outing, how would you like to vote on your approval? Alrighty, with that, you are the newest member of the Judiciary Committee. Congratulations. Alrighty, moving on. Next up is old business. First up under old business is CB 6718. This is presented by Chairperson Smith. You have the floor.
And I'm back that quickly. All right. So, as many of you know, because we've gone over this bill before, this is my last bill to reform the bylaws. The green flag, I don't know how to interpret that, but I'll take it as a positive thing. This is for Article 7 and Article 11 of the bylaws. Normally I go one article by one article, but there's like so few changes in both of them, and it's like the last one, so just kind of cram them in both. Both of these articles are the judiciary branch and then the line of succession articles in the bylaws. But with that, I'm gonna go through, and if anyone has any issues with any of the points I have, please like raise your hand and we can talk about it a little bit. Okay. The first thing, the first thing is amending 7AC to make it, and so instead of a Judiciary Committee chair submitting hearing guidelines within 1 week of selection as chair, it changes that to 2 weeks, because more often than not, when a committee chair is selected, it's during the summer, and sometimes during the summer, we only meet every other week. So having it at 1 week is just senseless. And let me make sure I'm finding the next line correctly, so I'm not like, I don't know, lying. Give me a second. This is AD. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Remove the line that removes 7AD is removing the line that makes it the judiciary chair's job to keep track of all Senate committee and normal committee assignments throughout the Congress. I wanted to remove that because it's not me who does that. That just hasn't been me. So why have it in there as a requirement of the judiciary chair if it's not something the judiciary chair is doing or has done? And the next 2 points add the parliamentarian as an ex officio on the congressional court, and makes it so they have the power to maintain Robert's rules and in congressional court sessions. The parliamentarian already has this responsibility in the Judiciary Committee meetings, so why not also add that responsibility to the congressional court? And the next line is to just clarify what it really means. It's just changing one simple word. So for like any decision made by the committee or the chair, the decision is announced at the next general body meeting, but the language was a little bit vague, and kind of you could have interpreted it to say that it could be presented at any public meeting that is hosted by Student Congress, which personally I believe if something is this one decision is made by the committee or the chair, it needs to be presented to everyone, all directors, all legislators. So I specified it to say general body meeting. And then these next changes, amending the line of succession beforehand were not listed out in a nice little list, and I changed it because we had some issues with the fact that wasn't. So I put it in a list so it's clear to see. And if you can't see it behind my head, I know I'm not that tall, but I might prohibit some people from seeing it. So if you need me to move, let me know. But this changes the presidential succession and general body meetings to move the Speaker of the Legislature above the steering chair, and insert the Director of Executive Platform below Parliament. Actually, no, that was already a thing. Nix that. It's just the Speaker of the Legislature for that one. For the next thing, for chair succession, wait, no, it was. Okay, my bad. I'm confusing things. My bad. The Director of Executive Platform was inserted below parliamentarian. And the SAFB chair was removed from the line of the presidential succession in general body meetings. And for the chair succession in general body meetings, I changed it to insert the speaker of the legislature right behind the vice president, and then steering chair, parliamentarian. Nothing else a part of this has changed, but it's one big old line in the bylaws, so I included it all. But the changes are just inserting the speaker of the legislature and then steering chair. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Okay. Any discussion on CB 6718 at this time? Alrighty, seeing none, we will go ahead and move on to a vote. Legislator Mullins? Speaker Johnson? Majority Leader Smith? Chairperson Smith? Oh yeah, you can abstain because you're present and voting. My apologies. Okay, thank you. I didn't even think about that. Chairperson Smith? Chairperson Valdez?
Yay.
Chairperson Markowitz?
Yay.
Parliamentarian Lunger? Legislator Ali? Legislator Arnold? Legislator Childs? Legislator DeVore? Legislator Dreswicki? Legislator Iveza? Legislator Mason? Do not believe is in the call with us. Legislator Outing? Legislator Prishandaro? Legislator Verzillo? Legislator Waters? Legislator Williams? Legislator Wolf? Legislator Whiteheis? I see a yay in the chat from Legislator Arnold. Alrighty. With that, CB 6718 has been approved. Alrighty. Next up, under new business 2, we have the first reading of the budget proposal for the winter semester. President Garcia will be presenting this. You have the floor.
Hey everyone, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm out of breath. I'm walking into Hillcrest right now. So if I could motion to recess just for like 5 minutes. So I can
Is there a
get
second?
up there.
All
That'd
right,
be great.
recess for 5 minutes. We will come back at 5:42.
Wait, someone has a second. Did someone second?
We got multiple seconds.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll be right up.
Alrighty, if everybody could find their way back to their seats. Alrighty, if everybody could.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Now that our recess is over, Director of Internal Affairs, Taylor, has notified me that we will be decorating cookies after the meeting. And has asked me to tell everyone to make sure to stay here for cookie decorating. So moving on, next up we have the budget proposal for the winter semester of 2025. This is presented by President Garcia. President Garcia, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for being patient. I was working on some goodies that you'll see later. But okay, so starting out with the main budget portion of the budget, just as a reminder for anyone, for any new members, the way that presenting the budget works is that after I present, so after each section, there will be an opportunity to raise your hands, ask questions, propose changes, add any comments, whatever you would like to do. Just wait till the end of that particular section. I'll be presenting the main budget portion and the compensation portion, and then the rest of the executive board will present their respective budgets. Just as a reminder, this is our first reading, so this is still, there's still gonna be a second reading once we come back from break. So yeah, all right. So first with the main budget section, can you guys still see? Even if I like stand up all the way? Okay, cool. So, so we've been doing a really great job rebuilding our budget account balance. Director Hadiz is gonna give a really good breakdown of like all those numbers during her recap presentation. But right now we would have a starting budget of about 100K for the winter, and then we'll have an SAF allocation that hasn't come in yet, but is estimated to be around 55K. This estimation is just based on like what we've had in previous semesters. But obviously it changes every year because the it's dependent on enrollment numbers, so that's always also changing every year. But the starting budget is a conservative estimate because we just want to make sure that we're completely safe. But we've been working really diligently with the OSI accounting clerk, because she has like, I guess, access to like the real like ledger. But also Director Hadid has been really diligent about tracking our expenses every single time we make one. Again, you can see all the purchases that we do in the Congressional Library, which is in the shared drive of on Google Drive for all of you guys to see. So please let me know if you have any questions about that. So our total is looking out to be 155K, which is a lot, and it's a whole lot more than we've had these past 2 semesters. So yeah, so this next part is to include the mandated minimum that is set by our bylaws. And then next we have a breakdown of things that for our compensation, both from the legislature and the executive board, and then and then everything below that is the individual sections in the budget and how much we've allocated towards each of those. Just to be clear, these things aren't compensation, it's only those top 2 parts. Those parts are the actual like things that we're budgeting for. So that's kind of a breakdown of what our remaining balance should be. Just to have like just to give you guys an idea about what compensation kind of looks like. Well, actually, I'll go into that in a second. Are there any questions at this point? Okay, I don't see anything so far, so I'll go into the compensation section. So this is broken down between the executive cabinet, the SAFB board, and the legislative section. And then we have our backup hours as set by our sorry, that was bothering me. As set by our bylaws. And so it's basically broken down by pay per hour, which is 15 for all of us, hours allocated per week, and then weeks in the semester. VP Brummer and I like double and triple check how many weeks there are. And then we kind of calculate like how much it would be budgeted if everyone clocked every single hour every single week. But yeah, and I'll get more into that later. But that's what it's kind of looking like. This is based on entirely about like I guess the roles and responsibilities of the e-board members and like how many hours they tend to clock each week. And that's kind of the breakdown. And then with regards to SAFB, that's entirely coming out of the SAFB budget, not from the Student Congress budget, but we still have to approve them as a legislature because of our like how like our role to oversee SAFB. And then finally we have our legislative chairs. A really exciting thing is that we got back to 5 hours a week, which is really great because we haven't been able to do that the last 2 semesters. So I'm really proud of all of our efforts to kind of build back our budget and get back to that. Unfortunately, the bylaws do say that you guys have a maximum of 5. So so we can't do more than 5. But and then finally we have our discretionary for speaker and judiciary. This is just if they need an extra hour a week, one of them can elect to do so. And that's placed by the bylaws as like a buffer. All right, and another thing I wanted to point out about compensation is that so this is like the max total. So this is like, again, if every single person clocked every single hour every single week, which almost never happens. Never happens actually. To give you an idea about how much we actually spend on compensation, Director Hadid has been really diligent about updating the actual amount of compensation we actually pay for, and it's at the last fall, the most updated number is 13,000. That doesn't include these last couple of weeks, but just to give you an idea that we almost never get to that full maximum. So if that 81K looks like a lot, we're not gonna even reach half of it. Okay, so You seem like it's urgent, so Chairperson Leotti?
No.
Mhm.
It includes SAFB. So if we remove SAFB from that total, which I don't know, or USC, it's way less. So
All right, so Chairperson Leotti, for all those online who didn't hear, she's saying that the max total includes SAFB, which again does not come out of the Student Congress budget. We can amend like the formula for that just to have like a more clear understanding of that. Parliamentarian Lunger. Oh, so one of them is supposed to be commuter support chair, so we can go ahead and. Thank you so much for pointing that out. When we were trying to translate things from our draft into like the official, I think that kind of just got lost in translation. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Are there any other questions at this time? Oh, Dr. Liddy.
So when we get the total of payroll in the general ledger, does that include SAFB's total? Or no? Like the amount of payroll they.
No, so when we get our ledgers, the Dana only includes Student Congress people. So this total here is accurate, like the 13K. The max total isn't accurate because it, for some reason, the formula includes SAFB. Oh, okay. Just kidding. That's when the formula is fine. I think you probably edited it, so. Okay, are there any other questions with regards to payroll? And I know that sometimes payroll can be like a sensitive topic, so like if you have a question or like any concerns, please let me know, or Director Hiddy know, and we can talk about it since this is just the first reading. All right, if there's no other questions, I will move on to Executive Office, which I will let VP Brummer present.
Alrighty. So first up, under Executive Office, we have bonding. Many of you know that we try to do some bondings within the semester so that we can help our productivity by working together and building relationships with each other. So we have budgeted $600 for any bondings that we choose to do throughout the winter semester. We also have a food pantry donation of $500 that is required by our bylaws. That is why it is included there. We also have included a line item for reusable menstrual products, which is something that we have been looking into for a couple of semesters now. And now that we have the room within the budget, this is something that we would like to include. We will potentially be distributing them through the vending machine, but we're also looking into various other distribution methods. So excited about that. And then we also have the $5,000 discretionary, which is also mandated by our bylaws. Is there any questions regarding any of the line items under Executive Office? All righty. Next up, we have Internal Affairs. Director Richardson, you have the floor.
Alrighty, everyone, I will make this as quick as possible. So everyone kind of knows what I do around the office, mostly office stuff. So of course, office supplies, office organization, office seating, all in my budget. We are gonna get a new mini fridge. That is like what I'm gonna be doing over break. Yes, I will be diving into a new fridge, guys. I promise I will do my research due diligently. Blue books and Scantrons, that was my budget last semester. Name tags and desk plates. I will make sure I will work closely with Speaker Johnson about getting the new legislators and some changing of names, because chair people. That will come out as soon as possible. Exam cram. I want to thank again everyone who helped me with exam cram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you all again next semester. I better see you. Thank you. And then hybrid tech, we got to get that going. And then air purifiers and filters. Hopefully we get a new air purifier for the office, and then those filters will hopefully finally come. All right, that's all. Thank you. Bye. Oh, sorry, I forgot questions were a thing. Does anyone have any questions for me? Oh, yes. Yeah, please, because.
Do you think we have any space in the budget to maybe give 1 or 2 new computers for the executive office and I think the legislative office.
Okay, so for new computers, do we have the desks? Like, where would you want to put them?
Currently,
board
I
office?
believe there's one in the executive office that's broken, and then one just like at a corner in the legislative office that's broken as well.
Okay.
There's some spaces, those desks are, I think the computer monitors are there, but they don't work. I know what you said.
Lovely. Okay, I can talk to I will bring, yeah, Geo, thanks. I will talk to the technology office first because I've got to talk to them anyway about some other things. So let's start there and then yeah. I'll let Geo speak really fast because she went first.
It's
Mhm.
the IT office group about they know
Mhm.
and they said that they can upgrade a computer, so I think change some of the components for about each. So it's actually something that SAP was talking about putting in our
right.
So I don't know if it's an option that kind of technically speak to. Maybe
Right.
one of the computers that I remember.
All right, thank you, Gio. Sorry. Thank you. Chairperson Leotti. For the computer, Chairperson Leotti talked about and the rest of the SAFB board went and talked to technology. It's about $120 to change out some components in the computer. And that's simply what we discussed if we want to go further and put that in the budget. Yeah, Director Lehman Pace?
I was. Or at least put in anyway, I mean, we've turned a couple of technology services before, because at one point we had way too many computers. Is there any way we can be like, hey, you had computers before, can you give them back to us without charging us? I guess I wasn't sure if that's an avenue we could take or something we could bring up, because I feel like it was like a ridiculous amount of.
I see this as becoming a discussion, which I love. And yes, I would love if people want to go to technology office with me and talk to them about that. Chairperson Smith really wants to speak right now, so I'm going to let her.
I was gonna say, those computers mostly were Windows 7 computers that they refused to look at or upgrade because they were Windows 7, which is why we kind of got them out of there, because we couldn't do anything with them anyways, because they barely functioned. So that's why they were gotten rid of.
Draconian. That's so great. For the computer people, Speaker Johnson just said that our computers have been referred to as draconian, so very, 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 very old. Lovely. This seems to be becoming a discussion. If anyone wants to talk about it further with me, please do. I would love to take a group of people to go talk to Student Technologies, because I know you guys have had some people in this space right now has had some more experience with our computers than I have, because mine is running great. Anyway, anything else? Any other questions? Okay, thank you, everyone. I yield.
So here's the winter budget for the Office of Sustainability. We got approval for a new pollinator garden near the Honors College. We've got some money put for that. Hopefully, we're going to get a lot of help from the PCO and the Honors College, hopefully as well. So we'll see how that goes. And we have, this is something that I had last semester that wasn't able to get done, but I'm hopeful we'll get it done this semester, which is the anti-bird strike window stickers. So stopping birds from, hitting the windows and just dying everywhere. It's a good thing to have because, you don't want to see a dead bird on your way to class or an exam. Yeah. So our recycling program as well, it was a bit stalled this semester, but I'm going to be meeting with Doug Lalone and the rest of facilities in January. So we're going to discuss purchasing recycling bins to put in buildings which don't have them currently. Earth Month is coming up. It's going to be March, I think we're choosing as Earth Month. So we're going to have a bunch of Earth Month events. We're going to have hikes. We're going to have a bunch of other cool stuff. Repair Cafe, which was really popular. That's where you just take stuff in and we repair it, part of the reuse and reduce part of sustainability. We have an owl event. We have a live owl coming to campus from a nature center. So that'll be really cool. Yes. And we're going to have, we're going to dissect owl pellets and then they'll show us the live owl and give us a presentation on it. And trail signs. we are going to get interpretive signs for the new trail system, which I'll show in my presentation later. So yeah. Any questions? The trail is it's back in the biopreserve. I'm gonna actually show a map too that I'll send to everyone afterwards. So yeah. Anyone else?
Okay. So for student advocacy budget, looking back at what we didn't spend from last term and then what we did spend from the year previous, we allocated, I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak about this. We allocated basically $12.50 for Heritage Food and Heritage Week food and Heritage Week entertainment, which in combination is less than what we spent last year. And the week is going to be combined. And for anyone that doesn't know, it will be from January 27th to the 31st. And then for Neurodivergence Acceptance Week, we did look back at last year's budget and what we did end up spending, because we didn't use the whole entire amount. So then that's what we allocated for 800. I mean, that's why we allocated for 800. And then for the GSC Jack Show funding and Taste of Africa support, we allocated a bit less just because the funding that we have overall in OUSC has lessened. And then also our support last year was used for like freebies, handouts, and gifts. So that's what we decided. And then for the Menstrual Products Initiative, we did the math, and to fill out all the dispensers on campus routinely, we would need about $6,000 for that for the whole entire semester. And then the OC menstrual products, we allocated 400. And then for the vending machine, we allocated 300. The majority of the vending machine is and has been free, whether it be like free to obtain, free cost from the university, and free for the students to get. We just have 300 for some fine tuning equipment cost or products that we might not be able to get for free, even though like I believe like 99% of it we've been able to manage to get for free, which is amazing. And then for pronoun pins, we'll need to make a purchase next semester, so we allocated 150 for those because we're running low. Any questions? I yield.
So, since we do not have a Director of Diversity and Inclusion, because that is involved with Valerie's position, next up, we have Executive Platform.
Hey there, folks. So it's a little bit more of a lean budget than usual, though we will probably see an addition or two. One notable one that I will need to add in is the bus for the OU Day at the Capitol. We weren't sure if we'd be covering that this year, but it looks like we probably will be. So you'll see that next time around. But this time you can see some vending machine products. This includes disposable drink covers, condoms, emergency contraceptives. I know that I saw the emergency drink covers that we got shipped in. They looked really nice. We'd love, Oh, yes, I remember hearing that now. So I will actually, I won't remove that, but imagine it's not there. We've got catering for potential events. Now you might be asking, what potential events could you be doing? You're the elections guy. I actually do more than that. Fun fact. With my role, I'm just supposed to be a catch-all. I talk to President Garcia and Vice President Brummer about potentially doing some sort of like, civic engagement and understanding is a year-round thing. We have state reps who were all reelected this year. We have 2 state senators still. People who want to come to campus and teach us about the legislative process. We were thinking of doing a Know Your Rights campaign, just so that people are aware, like, hey, the Constitution grants you certain rights. You are a citizen of this nation and or a permanent resident, and you have certain privileges that you get just by virtue of living here. And we want to make sure that everybody is aware of these privileges and rights. We've got a budget for stamps. I've talked about my stamp program 1.5 million times. I will continue to talk about it. Going forward, the stamps won't actually, funny enough, this semester they didn't have to. Are we good right now? Oh, okay. Funny enough, this semester, actually, I was going to reach out to the OSI and make sure that the office staff at the window know. And just so all of you know, if you're mailing an absentee ballot, in the state of Michigan, they no longer have to be stamped. They're legally required to come pre-stamped. So if you put a stamp on your absentee ballot, you did waste the stamp, which is a bummer. But I want to make sure that we're working with OSI staff to make sure that we're not wasting a bunch of stamps. And I mean, if a student wants to put it on there anyway, that's fine. But like, just so they know, like, the law requires their ballot be pre-stamped. Like, it'll just say like prepaid postage. So that's really cool. Big win on the state of Michigan there. And then finally, there is a line item for the Professors Union Labor Panel event. This is our 4th year in a row doing it, which is really exciting. We always pay for the food and do tech support. I remember one year I was in charge of recording it and I did fall asleep, but I didn't stop recording. So there's a devious picture out there of me asleep right next to the tripod, and I felt really bad because it was a really good one, and I loved watching the part of the recording I missed. I was just dead tired, and the room was very warm. But no, we've got some food for that. Usually the AAUP pays for it, and then we pay them back because they get better rates than we do. But yeah, imagine there's no vending machine products line. There is a line for the bus. I got in touch with the committee. They said we do need the bus funding. So next week, one of them will be swapped out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, looks like the Director of Marketing's next.
So my budget is literally the same from last year, except we have the addition of the pins, which are for next semester for $800. I don't know what else to say. Any questions, I guess? I yield the floor.
Mine's also a really small budget. We just have the alternative vendors item, and that's just mandatory by our bylaws, where we have to have like kind of discretionary for any like money, like if there's a better, like more ethical or more sustainable brand, we just pay the difference with this.
Howdy, folks. I'm back again. Yes. So I get to run over the legislative initiatives budget for the winter to cover the fun things the legislature has taken on as a priority for the coming months. We have been given word that Mindful Mondays is happening. Green flag that. I've been waiting for ages to hear something on that. Vice President Brummer has been working diligently with the rec to make sure that that is a thing we can do, and we've been given the green light. So that is appearing in our budget again. Currently, we're working on some commuter support initiatives. Parliamentarian Lugger and I are going to work with Advisor Miller from the OSI office on some commuter support initiatives. So I set some funding aside for that so that we have some room to do some fun things. I did budget for Meet the Reps. We did really good last time. But since we have a lot more legislators now, we're gonna do even better this time. So that's gonna be really fun. I did some giveaway funding. President Garcia and I have been chatting about all the fun little things we can put the OUSC logo on to give away to people. How many people remember the little gavels we used to give out that everyone seemed to love? They sold like hotcakes. So stuff like that, yeah. The parliamentary procedure workshop, I'm setting up with Parliamentarian Lunger. We've got some money set aside for that in case we want to get some food so that people are more, I don't know, less ornery about having to go to that. And then as normal, the task forces get some funding in case something comes up in which they decide to get involved. Questions, comments, concerns? Yes. So Mindful Mondays was a list of activities we used to do every Monday, where I guess a lot of it would be like a free meditation period for a lot of people. We had a lot of connections with the athletics department that we used to do that with. And the money is set aside because we bought food for the people to come, so they would have like lunch and a free meditation hour, and we'd have coaches come and lead those, and it was all a very relaxing experience. Part of us helping with the mental health part of campus. Anybody else? Director Richardson?
So this, I didn't know that. Who's gonna be in charge of it?
Yeah, that's a fun question. That one's gonna be a work in progress. For now, until we have someone who's like specifically designated to do it, I'm gonna work with VP Brummer on getting that set up, what that's gonna look like, where we're gonna do it, this, that, and the third. But I'm under the assumption that someone's going to wanna be the legislator to take that on and let that be their charge. Anybody else? Yes. Not as of this moment, but when there is, y'all will be the first ones to know, since y'all kind of have to know that to be there. So it's in the works. Advisor Miller, are you heading out? Oh, a little bear keychain. Oh, that's cute. I like that. But the date is to be determined. The date is to be determined, but y'all will be the first to know when it is determined. Anybody else? With that, I will yield.
Great. So that is the budget in sum. Is there any other questions anyone would like to pose at this time before we move on? All right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on. There will be a second reading of the budget at the first meeting next semester, and that is when we will vote to approve it. All righty. So next up is discussion. We have the eBoard Fall Recap. This is presented by President Garcia. President Garcia, you have the floor.
Right, so, oh, it's not. Could any of the eBoard members share to the OUSC account, please? Yeah, could you? And if someone could hyperlink it to the agenda, that would be great. I think probably Marion, you could hyperlink it, yeah. Okay. Should be in our email now. All right, I'll just start my talking about it. So, something that I think is fun to do, for all the members is just kind of take a look about like what all the eBoard has been doing. I've been meeting with them weekly, all summer, all fall, and every week we think of new and creative initiatives and events, and it's just been a really great ride, and I would just love for all of you guys to see what everyone has been doing. And also like hopefully can pique some of your interest. If you're like, if you think, wow, like what that person did, like I really want to be a part of it. You could reach out to them and, you know, join their committee or just like contribute to their initiatives, but I will go ahead and just start the presentation. Okay. So the first thing is executive office. Thank you, VP Brummer, for creating this because I did not have time to look over it. But so first we have some of the things that me and VP Brummer do on a week-to-week basis. So I chair the Gen Assembly meetings. I also chair the SAFAC meetings as well, and the Campus Food Committee ones. And I've been emailing and trying to set that up. That will be happening in January. But so I chair a couple of meetings. I do my weekly one-on-ones with e-board members to plan events and initiatives. And I think that consumes like the majority of my time because it's a lot. Like they're usually like an hour to 2 hours and several of them a week. We're also constantly communicating with campus stakeholders to kind of advocate for students at large. We have our weekly meetings, or not weekly, but typically they're like monthly meetings with like people like Director Reed, VP Mack, just a lot of like big people on campus that have a lot of like decision making when it comes to like things that like directly impact students. So we're always trying to like push for things that you guys advocate to be important, things that we notice to be important to students. And then I just provide a lot of oversight into things everyone does, to what the legislature does and what the e-board does. I'm really stuck up when it comes to like bylaws and making sure that we're always abiding by them. And VP Brummer does a whole lot with regards to like more like direct contact with legislators, things like task forces and legislature meetings, and always communicating with Speaker Johnson. And yeah, and she also accompanies me with all those big meetings that we have. Hopefully VP Mack can come to a meeting to be a guest speaker again, because if you guys remember, he was here last summer. So some of the three major initiatives that we've been doing is first the course markings implementation, doing that statewide coalition with other student governments in Michigan. So that's been a lot of diligent work when it comes to coordinating with a lot of like outside components, which is not something that I've seen a lot in my time in Student Congress. So I think that's really impressive. Another thing that's going to be popping up in January is the free resource vending machine. This is going to be really exciting. We have literally everything that's going to be in the vending machine. Things like first aid kits, drink covers, fentanyl test strips, Opill, emergency contraceptive, condoms, pregnancy test. These are things that we've actually the majority of it has been free to us through like nonprofits, which is really exciting because it allows us to give a whole lot more to students because we don't have to cover so much of it on our own. I'll let you chime in once I'm done.
Yesterday, we were able to seek access to the State Department's Health and Human Services office to get free Narcan.
Oh yeah. That's so exciting because we thought we weren't going to be able to get that. So that's really great. And we've also just been collaborating a lot with the Graham Health Center to make sure that and also Director of Marketing too was going to be making a lot of like informational handouts so that students like know how to use these things. And another big thing that we've also been trying to facilitate the implementation of a hair care vending machine. People who have been in Student Congress for a while remember when we had that one guest speaker come in to talk about a hair care vending machine. And that kind of like, we kind of left that alone for a little bit, but some students who were interested came back and expressed interest. So we've been coordinating with Director King from Housing, and it's looking like it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna be doing like a little pop-up events and then implementing the actual vending machine, hopefully in Hamlin. But that would be a really great thing. And also I think it's just gonna be really appealing to like freshmen and just like overall all students on campus who might be interested in those products. And then next, another really big goal that we've been having is increasing the SAF allocation, as well as also just like adjusting the at SA, the SAFAC percentages to hopefully get more funding for club sports. But yeah, those are just a few of the most major things. VP Burma, do you have anything to add? Okay, awesome. I will hand it over to Director Hadid.
I'm the Director of Financial Affairs. My main, I know my slides aren't that pretty, I'm not that creative, but my main areas, the first thing I did when I got this position was I created a form where any director can go and just put in all the information for a purchase, and I check it every week. I'm very diligent, and it's just to keep really good track of any purchase made, and so we don't lose any purchases, and just stay on top of that. I keep the budget, general ledger, and congressional records up to date. I do payroll every Sunday. I helped create the winter semester budgets with all the directors, and I send out timesheets and general information to new members. And I'm also the voting chair on behalf of like OUSC for the SAFAC meeting. Just a few kind of like financial breakdowns for the semester. These are all estimates because again, we don't have the exact numbers, we just have estimates. Started off with around like $56,000, and we got our SAFAC fall and summer allocations like halfway through the semester, which was $71,659. We total the total amount we spent this semester, including payroll, was $26,265. Payroll was $13,236. Leftover payroll was $31,343 dollars. So you can see how we don't even spend like half the payroll budget. And then our ending budget estimate is going to be $101,394. So we have, as Jimena said, like a big part of when she asked me to when I got this position, she told me like a big responsibility is going to be just to be like financially responsible and keep track of everything we purchase to make sure everything's accounted for, and that we bring back our budget because of how low it was from before. And I think we've been able to succeed with that.
Everybody, I'm back again. So I'm Director of Student Advocacy. My name is Valerie, for those that don't know. So I have memes on every page. How do I move this? Is it okay if I hide it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is me every single day. If I'm not in a meeting with someone, either in person or virtually, I'm either messaging them or emailing them or trying to figure out who to contact, or just a lot of communication. But yeah, so my routine tasks are within the office, like I'm restocking the table outside. So like the Scantrons, the blue books, the pronoun pins, any of the flyers and handouts. And I'm also always tidying up the office, just because I like our office to be tidy. And so whenever I see something out of place or things, just I like things to look neat and in order, for professionalism reasons. Anyways, and then so other things that I routinely do are like I come to our GBM meetings. There are DEI council meetings that I'm part of, affinity meetings. Recently I was in an AAPI ERG meeting, not necessarily ERG, but for affinity celebrations. And then, yes, I do a lot of outreach. So that is to just regular students, student orgs, faculty, and then like different departments, and even like outside community organizations, all regarding either the needs of students or initiatives that we have going on and potential collaborations. And then placing, okay, so my job as Director of Student Advocacy, as Jimena mentioned earlier, is kind of combined with DEI, Director of Diversity and Inclusion responsibilities. So a lot of the outreach was for the Heritage Week stuff, but I'll go into further in other slides further and how it relates to other things as well. But so for vending machines, there's a lot of placing orders and reaching out to people for that as well, making sure everything is working properly, and then also that we get our products and get the right products. And then creating and tracking forms for a lot of this because it is a lot. And then, you know, filling out timesheets because that's our jobs. And everyone likes to get paid. Okay, so for student advocacy, for my student advocacy portion, the Menstrual Products involves refilling the dispensers, making sure that we have all our dispensers installed, and then sorry, I can't speak. We have a group of people that now routinely fill up the dispensers, which is amazing. Thank you everyone for who helps out with that. Truly so thankful. And then, yeah, so we're tracking data for anyone that's not aware, so that we can present to our higher ups later on and discuss and protect the longevity of this initiative outside of OUSC. And then we're also like, when we get products for the Menstrual Products, we are also organizing them beforehand. And then, okay, so for the vending machine, again, just researching what students want and need, how to get it for either free or low cost. And then figuring out any technical difficulties, like me and VP. We discovered some of the rows aren't working, so we're working on fixing those issues. We reached out to the manufacturer. Yes, yeah.
Manufacturer and Director.
Yes, and Director Chris Reed. So that will be handled and fixed before everything is all set up. So everything will be ready to go next semester. And then miscellaneous things are like advocating for student orgs on private confidential matters. I'm not going to go too much into it. Yeah, next slide. For DEI initiatives, we have the Heritage Week. Essentially, this semester has been a lot of planning for what you guys will see next semester. And then also something that probably most of you are not aware of, there were students that reached out to me that were expressing their want for a new language class on campus. So the Aramaic language is going to, hopefully if all goes well, be offered as a class here in the next fall. If anything, might be pushed back a term, but there's a professor in the works, and the paperwork is being handled by Adolfo, for those that know. He's the department chair for everything language related. And then Neurodivergence Acceptance Week, more planning for that. That will take place next March. And then also next term, you'll see a collaboration with CMI. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If not, please pray for my sanity. Okay, cool. Are you?
Taylor.
So whoever doesn't know me, I'm Taylor. I'm the Director of Internal Affairs. Let's continue. All right, so weekly tasks. So unlike the rest of the directors who have really cool activities that change every single week, mine stay the same. So it's basically just updating our Google Drive, being transparent as possible is like my biggest thing. So Congressional Library, GrizOrgs, the archives, which I forgot to include, but I also send out weekly reports. All the emails you get from the OUSC, it's me talking to y'all. Very grateful for that. just, yeah, check in with Ebor, check with our liaisons. I'm also responsible for booking all of our locations for GBM and legislative meetings. If you know me, you know I've talked about booking rooms with the registrar's office. They don't like me. They really don't. But you know what? I love them and we're gonna keep working together. I also inform the guest speakers. But like other weekly things that I do, I have my one-on-ones every single week. So I don't get to attend GBM because I work at my other job, but I am very grateful for President Garcia always, I know, always keeping me informed, which I really appreciate. Other thing that I do every single week is I try to keep our office space clean and organized. It is part of my job. So I've updated almost every single area. Everything has tags, guys. Everything is labeled in the office. But if you still don't know where something is, please contact me. I would love to let you guys know. Sure, GBM ran smoothly alongside our retired steering chairperson Priscilla, or legislator Priscilla. So yeah, agendas, reports, room locations, all listed clearly in our weekly email. All right, I can't read that because the thing's in the way, but I think it said something about being transparent. Worked on being as transparent as possible, inform the student body about various anemones that Student Congress provides. Since I am at the front desk, I did talk to a lot of students who came in asking questions, which was really fun. I attended multiple task forces, helped with the vending machine, talked about OUPD, about blue lights. Doing great. Just did some other things like Beaver Fest, the Safety Expo, Haunted Hallways, helped plan bonding with President Garcia. And then I also created the tabling sheets. Please, next semester, tabling, let's do it, you guys, because we had a lack of it and more tabling needs to be done. But I also did some tabling myself about voting. I did a lot of voting stuff alongside Director Lehman Pace. I was a poll worker myself. I encourage you all to be poll workers in the future. It is amazing and a great process. That's it.
Oh, it's getting started again. Yeah, the order of this like thing.
Okay. Chairperson Leotti.
Hello, everyone. So I'm the chairperson for the Student Activities Funding Board, and like Taylor, my job pretty much stays the same every week, but I'll be giving you guys just basically a rundown of how much we allocated throughout the summer and the fall, because I realized we never gave you guys the total numbers from the summer, which is not right. All right, so the summer allocations are here. First of all, thank you, Director of Accounting, Ludwig, Hallie, for making the charts. So this is the allocation by category from the summer. As you can see, equipment got a whole bunch. It was the Grizz Fest that was upcoming, and that was pretty much where most people spent money. We allocated a total of $27,190.76. And this is the breakdown between all the categories in numbers and not just percentage. So next up, we have the total of decisions made on requests for the summer. A majority of the requests got approved, and most of the requests that were returned got approved. We did have some leftovers in limbo, so we had like 5 requests that just never got returned back to us. They're in limbo forever now. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Whoop. I'll put it up here. So it's yeah. All right, cool. So deny, return, approved. A total of 94 requests throughout the entire summer. The summer is usually where we get the least. Why is this here? No. Where we get the least requests. So yeah. So for the fall, we had a total of $141,575 allocated. This is a little more actually, I think. I'm trying to remember last year's numbers, but I believe it's a bit more than we allocated last fall. And again, the chart shows this during the fall, we got a lot more of food and professionals funding. equipment, giveaways, and conferences had some of the least numbers. There weren't a whole lot of conferences. And here's the breakdown by numbers again. Yeah, and this is the total in decisions made. So a total of 858 requests between August 2nd and December 1st. And a total of 568 approved, 199 returned. We had to return a lot more because of some new policies that we were trying out. But again, most of those returned requests turned into approvals. So, you know, good stuff. And denials, we had 90, which is a lot more than we had last semester. But again, we had some new policies. We got a bit more strict on policies that we already had, just to make sure that people were, you know, actually following the rules. So, yeah. And for the winter, this could be your organization in the winter. If you have any questions about getting funds from SAFB, just let me know. I'm in the office almost every day. Just come up to me if you have any questions. I can help you out. And we are also hiring. If I can move this, I cannot move this, but SAFB is hiring. Here. Okay. So unfortunately, we will be losing our director of accounting, Ludwig. She got an amazing internship opportunity for the winter. So this next week is her last week with SAFB. So yeah, she's done an amazing job throughout this entire semester. But we will be needing a new director of accounting, a new director of audits, and a director of outreach this upcoming semester. So if you are interested, let me know, because we can have up to 3 members from the Student Congress also working for SAFB, as long as your hours don't go past 25. So if you're interested, if you have any questions, just let me know and you can apply on Handshake. That is all.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short since the meeting is going really long. So, for me, I basically had a lot of, well, not a lot. Every week I had one-on-one with President Garcia, talking about things like vending machine details, basically the handouts, and stuff that I did for marketing. I made the vending machine wrap and then talked to a vendor about it. And I don't know if we can order it yet.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Really? Okay, awesome. So that's fun. And then made flyers for Sustainability Town Hall, Library of Things Initiative made a Canva flyer for that to advertise that. Culture Heritage Week, save the date Canva, which is coming up in January. So I need to make a lot of reels and videos. So I need a lot of you guys in the reels, and so please show up when I say we need to make a reel. And then also made a design for the pins, and then which will be ordered hopefully soon. Mental health handouts, confirmed information on that and then ordered those. What else? Okay, so I also keep up with the GBM Instagram update, basically, which is just like you guys might have seen it. It's just like a little story on Instagram, talking about we have our meeting today and what will be covered in that meeting. Made the team meet the team Instagram post and already posted the executive e-board branch one. We'll be posting the legislative branch on Monday. Some of the events that I have attended, the Sustainability Town Hall, task forces. Again, I did plan sort of a reel making day for the vending machine, but it didn't turn out good. So we will try that next semester again. Other events that I attended was the Haunted Hallways. I don't like Halloween, but that thing was awesome. The bear was great. It was scary. I did the Coca and civics tabling and then filled dispensers. Some things that for the next semester, again, the pins will be ordered for giveaways and potentially maybe different ones for our student Congress members. And then again, the Cultural Heritage Week, these for the reels. And then again, vending machine for promotional materials, handouts, reels, flyers, posters, banners, everything. For some social media strategy, me and people in the marketing committee, we are planning to make like a monthly Instagram content calendar, basically making like a calendar for things that we will be constantly posting on Instagram to make our followers engage and potentially get that idea that how many people are actually active and are not alumni and actually like our students, and maybe have a TikTok account for the reels and for videos that we will be making. Some things to maybe improve on. I could get feedback from you guys. Maybe I would make a survey and then distribute it to see that what are the things that I can as a director of marketing can improve on some of the things that are happening in marketing. And obviously using that feedback to improve the stuff. So that's it.
All right, so I'm second to last, but not least, I hope. It's election time. All right, so your executive platform wrapped. I included a little screenshot of the debate. I don't know if you remember, the Gleek party was there. You got the big three voting events, which were Slice of Democracy, Civics and Succulents, Civics and Cocoa. And I did forget that we did that we also did the debate watch. I don't know how I could forget the debate watch. It was awesome. I know I mentioned it on the next slide. You did a lot of tabling. The OC was the most common location for us to table at. South Foundation happened a couple times. In a lot of the academic buildings, it was just once or twice. It's official. We had 50 people register to say that they were interested in poll working. Not as many as I'd hoped, but it was the second most in the state of Michigan, so I really can't complain. So only got beat by the people working for work elections from U of M. They consistently are just barely ahead of us. Fun fact, you can only vote once. Just wanted you all to remember this. I know the stickers are fun. I know the stickers are really, really cool, but you can't vote twice. One single ballot, one vote, one person, one vote. I know. See, stickers are really cool. So here's some of the election results here. This is the presidential map. You can see all of the super light ones. Those were usually regarded as more swing states. Here's the House map, the US House. It's looking like Dems have flipped a net total of 1 seat, but the House majority is going to be, after resignations, it looks like it's going to be 217 Republicans to 215 Democrats, because there have been a number of resignations already, such as Matt Gaetz in Florida, another guy in Florida, I'm forgetting the name of, Elise Stefanik up in New York. You get the drill. Alyssa Slotkin just barely won Michigan's open US Senate race. And this is the Michigan House map. Republicans have taken back the Michigan House. They flipped Jen Hill's Marquette-based district up here. They flipped, I'm forgetting his name, but it's the Battle Creek Albion district here. And they flipped Jamie Church's Downriver district here. This is the Rochester Hills district where OU is based. Our incumbent representative, I'm blanking on the name of it right now. Yeah, Mark Tisdale. For some reason, I thought it was Tim something. Mark Tisdale held on in his re-election campaign, so did Donnie Steele. So OU will continue to have the two same representatives. Also, our unofficial third representative, Brenda Carter, who represents Pontiac. She fancies herself as one of our representatives. She always comes to OU Day at the Capitol. And because so many students from Pontiac go to OU, she might as well be our third representative. So all three of them won. Yes. And then, yeah, that's it. There were some pretty notable flips. In Michigan, Trump flipped Saginaw County and Muskegon. County, Grand Traverse County did not flip, even though it was widely suspected to. Which Grand Traverse County, I mean Traverse City, it's up near like the Cherry Coast area. Midland County was a lot more yes, right with the pinky. Midland County was a lot more competitive. They thought it was going to be competitive. It was competitive. Midland County is right about here, just a little bit inland. Bay County is right there. Midland's right there. Additionally, Ottawa on the other side of the state, Ottawa County, it's like right next to Grand Rapids, and Muskegon, real competitive. Well, not real competitive, but it's becoming more competitive. It went from like blood red to slightly less blood red. Also notable, Jill Stein won a precinct in Dearborn Heights. It was the only precinct won by a third party nationwide. Other duties, the menstrual vending machine is going really well. No thanks to me. Course marking is also going really well. Again, no thanks to me. I've just kind of sat in on the conversations. I don't want to take credit. I just want to shout it out. OUSC's to other connections to other bodies are as strong as ever. We are working really well with the other SAFAC orgs. I mean, Andrew from WXOU literally just was like, hey, you guys voter tabling? And then just joined us. He just joined in for fun. He put on the beaver suit for us. Honestly, he also let us borrow a speaker for Talk About Voting with the Secretary of State's office and the Dean of Students office. So that was awesome. And then we hosted the VP debate, which I hope all of you remember, where we were on MSNBC. We were in the OC until like 11:30 at night, but it was well worth it. That's a picture that my friend sent me. He was like, you were on my television. I was like, that's not wrong. I was. And then finally, just a little collection of some of my favorite pictures. Oh, it's cut off, but that one's a beauty. It says it's Toe Mater from Cars. Hey there, folks. This year I'm voting for Carmala instead of Donald Trump. My bestest Bud Light and McQueen says ladies like Miss Sally can't get the repairs they need right now, and that ain't right. I sure don't believe in everything Carmala runs on, but I believe in my friends. And then I saw that because the guy who uploaded it, quote, retweeted it and said, I'm sorry, guys, I really thought this would help. I make no political comment. I just thought that was funny. And then I, of course, included a bad picture of everyone involved in the election. Just, yes. Oh, yeah. I thought we'd get a fun little reaction there. This is, for reference, J.D. Vance pre-Senate, before he had a beard, just responding to a question in an interview. Joe Biden, when he saw Marjorie Taylor Greene's hat at the State of the Union. Elon Musk doing his signature X the Everything app jump, and Donald Trump looking on scornfully. Kamala Harris holding up a Funko Pop of George Clinton, saying that people need to listen to more funk music. Tim Walz looking up in a rather confused manner. Trump not enjoying the Arizona sun very much. And that's all for mine.
Like me looking at my assignments.
Okay. Oh, yes, we do. Okay. There you go. All right.
So it's been a pretty good year for sustainability on campus. We had Beaver Fest, which was an extremely successful event. We had over 150 plus attendees. We ran out of food basically halfway through because we just had so many people. So many people learned to care about the beavers, and they just learned about the beavers on campus, which is really important if we want to keep them around and just advocate for beavers in general. We have Spin the Tail on the Beaver, so that was pretty fun. We can see how many people were just there. We actually took a hike out later, and we got to show everyone the beaver dam that's on campus. And I'll show you guys how to get there later in the slides. Yeah, and Andrew from WXOU, he dressed up in the beaver suit for us. He was in it the whole time. He even went down to the hike with us. And then here's some like pretty cool artwork. It was pretty cool. More pictures of Beaverfest. We have the poster. We have all the wonderful artwork that was made by everyone there. I was really impressed by this. I think we should do this kind of event more often. And then, of course, our wonderful poster made by our president. And the hike. Yeah.
Canadian, Canadian pastry.
Yeah. It's very successful, very good. I'm very, very happy about it. So other events and initiatives that we worked on, I worked with the biology department to conserve the beavers on campus. We're looking at getting some sort of exclusion fence around the culverts underneath the pathway, which the beavers have built their pond around, in order to stop it from getting too high and flooding over the bridge. But we don't think that'll happen, but this is just a precautionary, just in case. So unfortunately, the beavers, the pond does flood over the path, which leads to the beaver dam. However, I also worked with the biology department professors to build a stone walkway out there. And that is actually along our new trail system as well. Or it's not a new trail, but it's going to be revamped. So more on that later. I led a very popular night hike through the biopreserve. Many of you were there. It's pretty fun. And then I hosted a sustainability town hall and with the university leadership and led a trash pickup run. Outreach, I represented OUSC at sustainability events locally, regionally, and nationally. We did the grand opening of the OUSC funded Salad Palace at the organic farm. I was invited to, what is it called? Panel at the Michigan Sustainability Conference hosted by Eagle. And I also represented OU at BeaverCon 2024. There's a national gathering of people who are advocating for beavers across the nation, federal, state, tribal, very cool. So the future plans, we are going to be revamping and expanding the biopreserve loop trail. So in partnership with the Ecology Club, the Native American Student Organization, the university, and many dedicated professors and faculty, we will be clearing, marking, mapping, and expanding the trail system through the biopreserve. The revamped trail will feature, we're going to put new side hikes, interpretive signs, benches. And here's the map. I can send it to anyone who wants it. They can request it over Slack. But this is the trail we've mapped out. It's a bit in rough shape in some parts, but it's pretty navigable if you have the map. Oh, and the beaver dam is right here on that trail as well. Other future plans, we're going to put in the new pollinator garden, the recycling program, and then all the other events that I went over as well. So that's it.
All right. Let's see what we have left. All right, next up, we have legislative updates. We'll start off with Speaker Johnson. You have the floor.
Alrighty, folks, I know we're going a bit long, so I'll try to keep this one short and sweet. First off, before I do that, since, it's not very often that we get to see the actual products of the work we do, I want to give the e-board another round of applause. So as far as the updates I've got so far, I did a legislator training, had a one-on-one with VP Brummer. I also attended one of her coalition meetings for the course markings initiatives. If you can attend those, I recommend them. They're pretty fun. Now that it has members, I want to finally get together with the research and review committee to go over some fun things. As I stated earlier, by next semester, I am projecting that we will reach capacity within the legislature. Yes, we can applaud that too. And I will end my little speech with a final farewell to our graduating members, legislators Wykheis and Versillo. You've all done a wonderful service to Congress. We're sad to see you go, but glad that we've had you for the time that we did. With that, I will yield the floor.
Thank you, Speaker Johnson. Moving on, next up we have our liaison report. Are there any liaisons present that would like to go over their report today? All right. Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on. Is there any updates related to legislative projects and initiatives? Come on up if you have any updates.
I have several updates. I've been working with Director Skinner on the Honors College garden ideas for next semester. Him and I plan on writing legislation for that and helping him plan that. And then I'm also working on the Constitution and attending Congressional Records Committee meetings with Director Richardson. I've been working with Chairperson Markowitz on commuter appreciation scholarships and activities. I've also been planning a parliamentary committee workshop next semester with Speaker Johnson. And I plan on refilling Minister product dispensers in Wilson and O'Dowd Hall next semester with Legislator Mays.
Hello, y'all. I'll keep it short. I've already said some of what I've already said, but this semester I've spent trying to complete my little initiative that I started in July of just reforming and cleaning up the bylaws a little bit. And I'm happy. I'm upset that I wasn't able to do it by the time I wanted to. I wanted to be done with it by mid-October, and I finished it today. But I'm really glad to have it be done because I'm tired. I don't want to do that. And of course, a lot of my work is more internal, and keeping track of attendance, dealing with conflicts between people in the legislature and all that stuff. And I'm glad to say everything has just gone well this semester. And I'm very excited to next semester change the way that filing attendance and all that stuff will work, because at the moment I spend at least an hour or two each week making sure everything is right and making sure all the records are accurate. And it's, quite frankly, in my opinion, a waste of money for OUSC to be paying me to do that. It's just so much, it's dumb. So I'm working with somebody to make it all automated and make it so I don't have to do that as much. Essentially, it's just like an email system where you fill out the form, I get the email, I manually approve it or deny it, it sends the approval or deny back to you, and then it automatically files it for archiving. So that's so much time off my shoulders. Really happy to have that. And I will talk about that more and like show it off when it's like ready and actually like a thing, because I have a prototype right now, but it's not ready to be shown. I'm also working on creating like a little quote unquote cheat sheet for the bylaws, because it's like 49 pages and a lot of people want to read them, and a lot of people want to like get more acquainted with them, but it's a lot. Like, as I just said, it's taken me like 5 or 6 months just to like go through them bit by bit, and it's a lot. So a part of that has made me realize let's just make a little thing for people to get like the main gist of it, because we're busy, we're all students, we don't have that kind of time. But with that, I yield the floor.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson Smith. Moving on, is there any questions related to legislative reports at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on next to e-board reports. First up, we have President Garcia. President Garcia, you have the floor.
I just want to start by thanking all of my e-board members, because you guys have been absolutely wonderful. And you don't fail to impress me every single day with all of your cool stuff that you guys are we're always working on. So again, thank you so much. It's been a great 2 semesters, and I'm looking forward to next semester. All right, so quickly, I had my one-on-one with Director Richardson on Monday. We did some holiday party planning, which is right after this, and some finalizing with the exam cram. I've been organizing menstrual products. I also want to thank all the legislators who have been helping and directors who have been helping fill those dispensers. I had a meeting with VP Mac last week, but I'm covering it now because we didn't have GBM last week. And we talked a little bit about safety on campus and a few other things that are escaping my mind. Maybe you can cover them if you remember. We had our SAFAC meeting, which I chaired. We haven't voted on a proposal yet, but once we do, you guys will know about it because I will introduce that bill to GBM and to you guys. We had our programming council meeting. That's literally almost like SAFAC, except a couple more people, and then we kind of just like coordinate like event planning on campus with the major like SAFAC organizations. I had my one-on-one with Director Hadid, and we worked on finalizing the budget. She has been spending a lot of time making sure that that budget is where it is now. So I really am very grateful. And I helped a little bit with exam cram, not too much, but I included that on there. I had my one-on-one with Director Al Jajawi, and we did so much planning. I think it was like, I think we were on the phone for like 3 hours that day in total. So it was a lot. And so I'm really excited to see the fruits of our labor later on. I also had a meeting with the International Students Office. We kind of just talked about combining our efforts with regards to the fashion show for the Heritage Week, which is also going to be a lot of fun. I had my one-on-one with Director of Marketing. We finalized the Meet the Members post, and I'm excited to see the legislator one. I think it's so cute to see all the Instagram posts that she's making. And we talked a little bit more about the pins, and I had my e-board meeting last week where I talked about making the recap presentation and doing the budget and everything like that. And then I also have been pestering everyone to make sure that they get their recap and their budget done. So I thank everyone for their timeliness. I also worked with Director Richardson and former steering chair Verzillo to finalize a winter GBM time. This is a reminder. I think Taylor's gonna reiterate this again, but please make sure that if you haven't filled out that poll to determine the GBM time for next week, please do so like now. I know that right now we're looking at Wednesdays at 5, but that could change depending on, what's the new thing? Yeah, Mondays. Mondays we could have Mondays at 5. So but that could change again. So please make sure to fill that out. But yeah, okay, that's all from me.
I will try my very best to be brief. I know it's been long. So we had a legislature meeting on Monday. That went really well. Had my regular one-on-one with Speaker Johnson. Mindful Mondays are a go for next semester, which I'm really excited about. And if anybody has any connections to coaches in the athletic department that they would like to see do a guided meditation for a Mindful Monday, please reach out to me, let me know. We're gonna start diving into looking at coaches and planning that out for next semester. In regards to course markings, we had our 3rd meeting this week. We worked on drafting a collective resolution to be passed across all of the 10 participating student governments throughout the state. Also, I will be meeting with the provost, Kevin Corcoran, on Monday next week to discuss how we can work together to not only educate faculty and address some of their concerns, but also how to incentivize them to be more willing to implement course markings. So I'm excited about that. This morning, I also met with Christina from CEDL to discuss possible collaborations. So we're looking at the potential for doing an event with CEDL next semester in order to kind of highlight and talk to faculty directly about course markings and, kind of reaching towards our goal within that. And then I will also be meeting with the MASU Registrar Subcommittee next week on Friday to address any of their concerns. And then beyond that, within January, probably early January, I will be meeting with the Provost Subcommittee. And from there, we should be pretty set with making course markings a recommended practice throughout the state of Michigan. Thank you. So worked on the fall recap that we went over. Also working on task forces and legislature meeting dates and times for next semester, so do fill out the when to meet. Also, I met with FAN, which is Families Against Narcotics, earlier this week. I was able to secure 50 free fentanyl test strips that have their supplemental resources attached. And as I mentioned previously, we gained access to the portal that will allow us to request free Narcan throughout the year for our vending machine, so that's really exciting. Looked into adding reusable menstrual products to either the vending machine or, any other distribution method that we're going to look into. And then me and Speaker Johnson also had the steering chair perspective meeting earlier today. Congratulations to our new steering chair. So yeah, that's all I have. Next up, I will pass it over to our advisor. Advisor Miller, do you have anything today? Oh, no. I believe I remember the instructions for the activity. Oh, it's different. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Do it.
Would someone like to make a motion? Okay, we'll just move through really quickly for the sake of time. Is there any updates related to eBoard projects and initiatives at this time? Director Lemon Pace?
All right, I'm using this time. All of you are doing the survey if you haven't already. 2 minutes. Everybody, I want pull it up. Make sure you filled it out. The time survey for next semester. Double check it. Double check it. I need a confirmation from every single person in this room. I'm not leaving until I do. Okay, got it.
Okay, for everybody that has not submitted it yet, are you submitting it right now?
Jingle, 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 jingle. That's fair. I'm gonna still worry about. I just guessed.
Okay,
New person. Oh, I guess him and Mario don't have the.
we'll make sure to
Yeah,
get it
yeah.
as soon as possible.
All right, you're free.
All right, is there any questions related to executive reports at this time? Oh yeah, come on up. Just be really quick with it.
Yeah, so the trail map is now in Slack and also a sign up sheet if you want to volunteer to help clean and maintain the trail. So yeah.
Thank you, Director Skinner. All right, is there any comments from the gallery at this time? All right, seeing none. Is there any other announcements anyone would like to make at this time? All right, seeing none, I will adjourn our meeting at 7:08 p.m. Thank you, everyone.